Wow. Hey, welcome to the show. Today I have a really special guest. He's been on my show a few times. Ben Fitzpatrick of StormOS, the XFCE version. There's a lot of lot to kind of catch up on and that sort of thing. I think this last couple weeks have certainly been a whirlwind for him. So let's go ahead. Yeah, I know. Anyway, let's go ahead and bring him in. All right. And there you are. There's Ben
Hey
Fitzpatrick.
guys. Yeah.
All right.
Well, like I said, pre-production, these past few weeks, dev-wise, have been very, eh, I want to say, monotonous and, like you said, a whirlwind, to put it lightly. You know, it's oh, there's been sleepless nights sometimes. Just trying to get this month's release put together has been, oh God, a roller coaster of emotions and different things between me and the team. Just all this stuff. Darren and I have been pushing this, back and forth. I don't know how many daggone times. It's just, you know, I can't tell you how much crap we've had to go through just to, and God bless my friend Heather Brown. I got to tell you, she has been helping me test the dang thing, and you tested it, and my buddy Gwen tested it. I don't know how many times I've had to wait 10 plus minutes just for the daggone thing to rebuild. It's been, for the lack of a better term, hell to figure this out.
Yeah, so the last time we spoke, you were on Accretion OS. You were one of the
Which
devs with the
yeah,
XFCE
which
version.
it was yeah,
So
which
just give me a second. Sorry. So for those who don't know, like there was kind of a separation, and I'll tell you what I think about it in a minute. But I guess the result of our interview with the whole group kind of,
accretion team.
yeah, with the whole accretion team kind of resulted in some unexpected consequences. Like I kind of feel responsible for it because I
It's
let
not your fault, Shaston. It's not.
I let some of it go, like the Gen X talk and stuff. And the only reason why is because when I get to know someone, and when I get like
No,
when my audience gets to know people, then it makes like the whole conversation a little bit more interesting. Like if I don't know what makes you tick, then it's just like, okay, we're gonna talk about this distro,
no, it's
and then we're done with it in like 5 minutes, and no one like
yeah.
learned anything about Ben. Do you see what I'm
No, we
saying?
really we really sort of went off
Yeah, no, of course.
entirely.
Yeah, exactly.
We went off on like an entirely different topic, an entirely different, etc. And what happened was everything that we planned to have talked about was completely gone down the shitter, and everything just went,
Well,
you know,
yeah, my volume
everything
turned
went
down.
sideways.
I
And,
did
and
that.
I'm not blaming you, Shaston, but
No, I
everybody
got
just was, everything was not well documented. We didn't have everything,
you. Oh, I
etc.
see.
So
Mhm.
it's not entirely your,
Yes.
you know, but either way, that's in the past, and you know,
No.
it's what it is,
Yeah.
and we're
No.
just we're here to talk about Storm OS, and
Yeah. No. No. I got you. I just like cause like I brought every one of you on my channel, and then it was like the
yeah,
next day it's like, oh hey, we're no longer here, and then it was like,
yeah.
yeah,
But
but
luckily, the
and
important thing is, Darren and I talked it out, and he and I are still going. But sadly, our buddy Jonathan went off and did his own thing, and that's just where we're at. So
okay.
but we're all working on our own separate version
Yeah.
of
No. No.
what
I
we're doing.
got you. Yeah.
You know.
And
So
yeah, and that's cool. I just
yeah, because Jonathan's working on his own project, Darren's working on Accretion, and I'm working on StormOS. So that's how we left it neutral. And
yeah, no,
yeah,
that's the best way to leave things. Every time, like
yeah, because
whenever
we're
you
not
meet.
upset at each other. It's just we're
Mhm.
all working on our own sides of the coin.
Well,
So
that's good. So anyway, yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah,
yeah, so now I guess there's Storm OS. I checked it out. It's kind
yeah.
of a nice
And
distro.
let me before we get into that, let me just sort of clear the air on StormOS. Just to put this out there, guys, this distro initially started as as uh, a whatchamacallit, a distro called Hackman Linux, which was born from
Mm.
uh, which was going to be originally called Arch by Arch by Matthew Moore. And if you guys don't know who my good friend Matthew Moore is, um, look up some videos called Manjaro by and
I
I
don't
think
know.
that's
I don't know
you
if
know
his
who Matt is.
videos are
Yes.
still up because his
Oh
channel
no,
got hacked.
he had to remake his channel because due to some complications with
Oh,
hacking of his YouTube,
right.
it got compromised, and he tried to talk to Google and YouTube about it, and they wouldn't help him. So, or they said they couldn't. One of the two. I don't know.
Yeah.
But basically, he had to make his whole daggone channel over again. He didn't have backups of the videos anywhere on his machine or whatnot. So, he basically had to restart all the hell over again.
Poor guy. Yeah. I've
Yeah.
actually talked to Matthew a few times over the years. I like Matthew a lot. I think
Yeah.
he's a
He's
good
pretty
guy.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, he is. And I'm really hoping to have him on this channel sometime because
Yeah.
there's
Because he's got a lot of Linux history under his belt.
yeah, we both do. But the
Right.
thing
Either way, yeah. Long story short, he and I tried to, we our initial plan was to make something entirely different from Manjaro because he was having some hardware issues running it,
yes, I remember
and
that. Yeah.
yeah, and that's why we started Hackman some years ago in 2018, and it was in August of 2018, if I remember correctly,
Mm,
towards the end of the month back then.
yeah.
And we decided that we're going to make something better, entirely different from Manjaro. And we initially we installed Arch on one of my machines, and he connected remotely in from a Windows 7 installation through TeamViewer, and he helped. I did the initial Arch installation, following the wiki back then, as there was no automated script at the time, and uh, and I actually encrypted it, funnily, and he set up all the XFCE settings and made it nice and kick ass. Dang webcam. But yeah, he made all the XFCE customizations, whatever, themed it and all that nonsense, and then I put the installer behind it. And given I did most of the work on the installer and the initial setup, whatever, he basically he said that we were going to call it Arch by but that was going to cause a lot of issues with the branding and the Arch devs and whatever. So given they were somewhat trademarked, and I guess still are, we decided that you know given I did most of the work on it, he just customized it. I get to name it. So my initial name was called Hackman Linux. However, um, I felt it was a good name and all that, and there was a lot of YouTube videos from example my buddy Backyard Tech, Colin Brash from PCTLC. Hope you're doing good out there, buddy. And both of them live in Australia, so hey mates. And we there was for a long time, up until about 2020, 2021, something like that, we they the distro was kept the name. We had, I don't know, four versions that was under Matt and I's name. However, he, due to some IRL complications, he had to step down, and hence and unbeknown to him, I kept it going for us. And around 2021, he came back and took a look at it again, and we he came back as a web dev for a while, and still is to this day, and it lives on under our new banner now. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, what is Matthew up to? Because like
yeah.
he's in my Discord, but I haven't seen him in about a month, and
I
I
don't know. He's got a lot of personal
yes, he
crap
does.
going on, in his life, and his mom's not doing well, his wife's not doing well, he's not doing well, so it's just a lot of personal issues in his life right now that is keeping him from focusing on his computer stuff, and
Yeah,
he's had so many Linux challenges hardware wise, and his financial situation is just not where it can be to even get better and afford newer hardware.
yeah,
It's just
yeah.
personal
No,
complications that are
mm,
keeping him from having fun. So
yeah. I totally hear that. Yeah, and
yeah,
yeah. So anyway, yeah,
yeah,
it's always nice. Shout out to Matt if you ever see this video.
yeah,
We're thinking
exactly.
about you, and
Of
um,
course,
yeah, good
and
guy,
yeah,
totally.
and kudos to your contributions back in the past, Matt. We miss you, and we hope to hear from you soon, brother.
Yes, exactly. So,
Um,
anyway, just
yes.
kind of shift gears here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good that everybody kind of left on amicable terms. That's always good. Whenever possible, I think that's probably the best. So, yeah, I took a look at StormOS. I do have a few things.
Yes.
You got to change your terminal font. I'm just going to be very, very, very transparent. That terminal font is horrible. There's too much space
Yeah.
between the letters. I use Source Code Pro. I think that's
Yeah.
probably the. There's a lot of them. You could do Hack Nerd font. You can do a whole bunch of them. You can do Fira. There's a whole
Yeah.
bunch of
I
really good fonts.
I was using originally the Ubuntu Mono
That's not
font.
a bad font, yeah. But
Yeah, I'll look through my
mm,
options for the May update,
mm,
because you're right. It's way too small,
yeah,
and it just looks ass.
yeah,
So, and the reason I haven't fixed that yet is because my dad's not home right now. And once we get done with this podcast, either tonight or tomorrow, he's planning to switch the uh, the stock SSD that came in this machine, the NVMe disk,
uh-huh,
with one of the ones that was in my what should we call it, my Asus over on the couch next to me.
mm,
And because sadly, like I told you in the pre-show, the machine has just crapped the bed at this point. It's croaked. I mean, it still powers on, but the Wi-Fi card in it, uh, the Wi-Fi antennas, I should say, we had to clip them off because they were just so broken. And we didn't want to have to get under the board, put the whole new wires in the whole shebang. And we tried a wireless USB. It just didn't work. So we just said, screw it. There's no saving this machine. And plus, the bezel on it is starting to break apart. So we just said, to heck with it. We're just going to strip it for parts, put the parts in whatever machines we can, and leave it at that.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
So,
sounds like a plan. So,
right. So, and
yeah,
on this machine is where I'm going to build the next version with the terminal corrections and all that
yeah.
malarkey.
I
So,
would, and I would, of my my dealings with the GNOME community, and
Oh
like
yeah.
because the XFCE terminal has like the VTE, so I think you should bypass it. I think you should think about maybe Alacrity or maybe
Oh.
even Kitty. Like those are a little
Yeah,
better
Alacrity
terminals.
would be a nice choice. I have contemplated, replacing the XFCE terminal with Alacrity. That might actually happen because, Alacrity does seem like a wise choice, and you know, uh, it's lightweight. And also another thing I've been thinking of maybe doing, excuse me, is putting in PyCom in replacement of the XFCE 4 compositor, because to
Uh,
cut down on a bit of the heaviness, because
hmm,
especially for those on potato computers, because honestly, you know, this distro was initially designed for not just newer hardware like my Lenovo Legion on top of me, but it's also designed for those who have weaker hardware that just, can't either run a Mac or a Windows anymore.
hmm,
And it's, um, and this laptop is going on 4 years old, I guess, at this point, because I got it in 2020, 2021, something like that.
hmm.
And it's got an RTX 2060 graphics card in it, an NVIDIA. And it still works in Windows to this day because I'm testing it right now with that. But that's not to say, NVIDIA will support it much longer, with their drivers. And if that's the case, you know, I don't know how much longer we'll be able to game on the darn thing.
Hmm.
So hopefully, they don't drop it anytime soon, whether it's Windows or not, but time will tell. So,
Yeah, there's another thing you could do with that too. I mean, this is just me thinking out loud.
yeah,
But on your panel, you could get like you could have like a couple of buttons where like one like if you want comp is like you have it
yeah,
right now. You could have comp is if you press another button, you could just do like the open box replace and have it run PyCom, or you could have it run like XFWM4, and it would just be
yeah.
the
So
button.
you're saying I could have like the old, you mean like similar to the old Fusion icon, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you would
Yeah,
just
because that was a very handy applet to where,
mm,
you could switch between comp biz or, and that gives me an idea. Oh my God, you got a point there. Because what I could also do is incorporate Kwin if we wanted to,
oh
you
yeah,
know?
that K1 is a little bit more complicated. It isn't like K1 replace, it's something else.
It's
But
Kwin X11 or Wayland replace. Yeah.
something
Now,
like that.
here's the thing. I've
Mhm.
done that before. I know how to do it. It's just,
Oh, okay.
Um, I actually am considering putting not just Compass but Kwin in the X11 session, because I still haven't figured out how to get XFC to load in Wayland. So no ETA on that, but and plus
Uh
from last I heard, the XFCE Wayland session doesn't run so good.
yeah.
So
Yeah, no, probably doesn't. But the Wayland you
it'll
have
come
to
eventually into.
whoa. Uh,
Of course, my trackpad makes me misclick. Gosh darn it. Sorry.
No problem. So
But
anyway, yeah, I was like, what just happened?
yeah, my
All right.
trackpad is very dodgy on here, but
Yeah,
either
I'm
way,
I'm surprised how many people are in the chat, man. Like, shoot us some questions or something.
yeah,
Anyway,
there's 5 people in the chat, but either way, yeah,
yeah.
the Kwin session will be implemented, but again, it will be without
Mm,
Wayland support from KDE, because again, the XFC Wayland session is just horrendous right now, unfortunately.
yeah. Yeah, I mean that's where you're gonna have to probably do some testing and maybe even
Yeah, I'll look into it, but
mm,
yeah, I don't promise any miracles with that one. So,
yeah.
but
And I mean honestly, like you could
yeah,
maybe like in the future do like
Yes.
LXQT with Wayland support. That has good
Oh my
Wayland
god.
support.
Yeah, that's
And
gonna be a fun one.
yeah, and then like you could shit can the horrible panel that they got and put something like I don't
Yeah, yeah.
you know the panel I want to start hacking on is the EWW panel. That is the
Oh, really?
coolest. That is
Yeah.
the coolest panel ever. Like honestly, like it has like all the like it has like the same kind of like I don't know how to explain it. It has a lot of. It reminds me of Dozen too, which I'm probably one of three people that actually know how to set up Dozen too. If you've ever watched my, like my BSP that has a Dozen two panel bar, but anyway, um, yeah. Anyway, it's like got clickable icons and the whole 9 yards. So anyway, really cool stuff. But I think LXQT with EWW that would probably put you over the stratosphere, and you would have
Yeah.
Wayland support on that
Oh, which one?
LXQT.
Yeah, I might make a separate version for that, or just put it in
Yeah,
my calamaris because
yeah,
it was.
and that would be almost like that would be a very similar uh, a very similar distro, like look and feel and everything that you got right now. Because I mean, you'd still have your wobbly windows, although it'd be KWin instead of Compiz, that sort of thing. But
Yeah,
then you would have like the coolest panel ever because EWW is the coolest
yeah, yeah. It
panel. I
it
love
uh
that. And you can make all kinds of things from that.
yeah, maybe that's something you and I could perhaps collab on at some
Yeah,
point.
yeah, sure. Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, because I haven't used LXQT too much, and
Either have I, but I've used it
yeah,
on
we
there a
can look
couple of
at it
times.
sometime. Yeah, because oh, damn it. My girlfriend was looking to join the chat, and I sent her the Jitsi link by accident. I meant to send her the YouTube link.
All right.
Yeah,
Anyway, yeah.
yeah.
Hey, everybody in the chat, like, don't be so shy.
Don't be
Anyway,
shy on us, guys.
yeah, we're
You
having
know, user participation is
always nice.
yeah,
So, I got the water boys outside, so
yeah,
you probably hear that. Oh, what?
yeah. I do. It's fine.
That. Sorry,
But
guys.
yeah, we have three people in the chat watching.
Oh, that's good. Well, anyway, so yeah, what else is yeah, so I
Yeah,
had that. Also,
you had the terminal bug there. Yeah.
yeah, the terminal thing. Yeah.
What
Also,
else?
install warehouse for flat packs. It's the easiest
Yeah,
thing and
yeah.
people yeah,
I
it's
was, I will add Flatpak in the
yeah.
next version as well because yeah, there was some controversy from not just you but what is it, Heather about that,
Mm,
and you know, Pamac has support for it,
mm,
and I can't remember which it was, if it's Pamac all or not, but I have contemplated including that because I had it in one of my older versions, but um, I took it out because there was, all the controversy over Snap and Flatpak, and
mm,
I personally am indifferent to that whole business, and I want to make, not just Arch packages.
mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would. I mean, if it were me, and I'm only just, I would include that, and I would include Box Buddy. That those are
yeah,
the coolest things. Box Buddy is the coolest thing ever. I think that would be really some really good additions to your
yeah.
And then
Yeah,
like the
it's
LXQT, I think that would probably uh that might actually be even more popular with people than XFCE if it's
yeah,
like
I get
dual.
you. I'll take a look into
Yeah.
next month having an LXQT version by chance. Yeah.
Yeah. But we gotta shit can the panel that comes stock with
Yeah,
it.
yeah, because XFCE is great and all, and I'm not gonna drop it, but the LXQT might actually bring a lot more people onto it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And I mean you can still have your wobbly windows and everything
and the
else.
etc. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
yeah, because I have considered adding another flavor to it
Yeah.
for this, and we tried to do a standalone KDE release, but
Mm.
the problem with that was KDE can be very, I hate to say, unpredictable at times, and it's not that we don't like it. It's just there's so many settings and all this and
Oh
that.
yeah, no, no kidding. Yeah. I'm
Yeah, and it looks familiar and all that to a user, but the problem was there was there's just so much extra cruft on it that you have to consider, and once you start to try and tweak it to your liking, it's like, oh my god, you know. But now speaking of side projects, another thing I've been working on is, did you see the recent changes to Chat GPT that they've been doing by chance? Well,
I
I
haven't
bring it up
noticed it.
because I've been working on this smaller side project, a Gen 2 stage 4 stage 4 script, actually,
Hmm.
where um, I don't know if you remember. Do you remember a man called Das Gregor from YouTube by any chance?
Yes,
Do
vaguely.
you remember how much of a KDE 4.x shill he was?
I think so. Yeah.
And he loved that desktop to the moon and back, and he actually sold me on it initially. And I was like, because there was a lot of, and when the KDE 5 days started, DOS was very, very disappointed in that initial transition. And I, honest to God, was too. Now, KDE 6, in my mind, hasn't been as bad of a trend. Oh, my sister just dropped something, but either way, you know, I thought that the KDE 6 release, when it first came out, it was fine. There wasn't as many bugs I thought that they had when they changed from 4 to 5, but you know, in my eye, still there's a lot of things like the Lancelot launcher and all these things that 4 was so well known for in when it was around, that just did not get ported, except for maybe the cube, that they just did not preserve, in my opinion.
No,
But
that's true enough. But I'm just glad that KDE 4 is gone. Like it is,
uh,
like honestly, like I hated that desktop as much as I hated GNOME 3. I'm
yeah,
serious, but they redeemed themselves with Plasma 5. I mean, that
yeah,
it
they
was
really,
terrible.
yeah,
It
5 wasn't as much of a heavy desktop. It wasn't, it was, I thought, a, it was well polished, and it had a very decent lifespan, I thought,
Yeah, and I mean, like honestly, like GNOME 3
Yeah.
was pretty bad, but GNOME
Yeah.
40 is not terrible. Like
Yeah, GNOME 40 wasn't that bad. Yeah.
yeah, right now, like GNOME is not terrible. Although I hate the
But it's
developers, but
just,
I like the
yeah, GNOME 40 was not.
yeah, but Yeah, it just took like what 37 versions before it actually became good. No,
Or it
I'm
actually
joking.
came through.
Just throwing a little shade there. No, but more on to
Hmm.
more on to some.
No,
I had a couple of questions.
no.
What was it that so
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah,
um I had a couple other
yeah.
questions too about the
Yeah,
whole
sure.
um
Yeah.
like there was something I was going to say about the move to Wayland. I just totally spaced it out. But
You just
yeah.
totally spaced out on it. Yeah.
Oh yes, yes. So now, okay. So I have a couple of things. So we're gonna go into a whole new
What?
direction. Okay, we're gonna talk about
What?
other arch derivatives because it
Yeah.
seems like Arco has called it quits. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Actually, Dark Zero from Zero Linux was telling me, about that, and you know, I'm not surprised Eric is. And I saw his videos about it. He and the tone in his voice. I mean, he's 60. He's almost 60 years old, and I'm like, he's going on 60, and I'm like, yeah, I can see why he would want to step down because he's not. He does not seem to be as into it anymore, and
Yeah.
he seems to, as days pass, he seems to not be as into the whole Linux distro building ecosystem anymore.
No. No, probably not.
And
And
as you get older, the the cracks start to show. And you know I'm not getting any younger either. I mean, I'm almost 34, and you know
youngster.
yeah, I'm the youngster of the Linux dev group. But look, I mean, I'm 6 years from 40, man, and I'm not ashamed to say that. But you know, I mean, Ricky is a couple years older than me, and I hate to say it, but this is I'm not going to be around forever. And that means, eventually, not anytime soon, but eventually, StormOS will either have to die or somebody is going to have to take the reins, just like Eric's dealing with, and given nobody stepped up to take over his project, which I'm not advocating. I would do it, but regardless, I mean, unless someone offers him that option, sadly, yes, Arco is going to
It'll
go to the
bite.
waste. It's
It'll
going to go bye
bite
bye.
the dust. Yeah, bite the
Yeah,
dust.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
so I got a couple of questions about that. So, anyway, um,
Yeah.
I no doubt don't think it's lost on you the excitement he brought to the whole
No.
Arch Linux thing because like every single
Yeah.
desktop you could ever imagine, he has a build for, and I
Yeah.
think
And
he
I
did
actually,
bring a lot of
before we get into
excitement.
that, I did actually test out for example, his awesome config because I was like, holy cow, that looks cool. And I liked how at one point it had the Star Wars wallpaper on it. I thought that looked pretty dang cool, you know. But because I'm a Star Wars junkie, I like my Star Wars. I grew up with Star Wars. But either way, yeah. Go ahead with your
Yeah,
question.
so like he brought a lot of excitement. What what do you think you could incorporate with your current project of Storm OS to
Um,
bring
I
more
have
excitement?
contemplated maybe. Well, I have thought about maybe using some of, for example, his window manager setups, maybe from his project, and moving those into, like, the awesome setup, the hyperland, the etc. you know Moving it into my project, because I want to see if, just how easy it is, and maybe adding it into my Calamari settings, not making separate but dozen ISOs like he has of them, but like maybe making a net config and just throwing, my personal desktop settings in there,
Yeah,
and then, you know, for the XFCE part, and then putting, you know, eventually the LXQT settings we're going to do, and then all his massive amounts of, you know, window managers and whatnot into that, you know, as well.
yeah,
And just like offering a separate Calamares package that, like a net config, and have that be an option for folks.
yeah. There's a lot that I think could be done.
To this.
There,
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot. Like, for example,
Yeah.
you could have a, I mean, you could just simply have a bash script like DT is doing.
Yeah,
That's
well,
pretty
actually,
interesting.
actually, that brings up another bit of news that I had was, you know, Dark Zero and I are planning to, I'll give an early shout about this. He and I are actually planning, to collaborate on a Bash script for StormOS that'll pull in, just for now. I might incorporate this into the ISO later. I don't know. Don't hold me to that, but I might make a version that's, like DT does, where it loads up and it installs vanilla Arch, or it installs the window manager of their choice, etc. And it has, or it gives you the option to install the StormOS desktop.
Yeah, like there's a lot of avenues you could go with. The only thing I had like with Arco was that it was like
Yeah,
very confusing all the time, and he had
yeah, and it had
way
a
too
lot of
much in
excess
his.
crap in there that you just did not need. You
Yeah, he
know.
had way too much in the desktop there,
Right, right.
in
Because
the
and
Calamari's
it didn't give
menu,
you
and
any choice, as much as he claimed it did. You know.
yeah,
And it did give you some choices in some of the ISOs, but it just gave you so much extra shit, that you did not want by
yes,
default.
yeah.
And all his choices, he told you to just get rid of them. I'm like, why would I want to do that? If you're
It takes
if,
time to do all that. Yeah,
right,
yeah. Like that, and it's so funny because like all of his key
uh,
bindings, like for his desktops, and I mean I don't mean to rip on the guy, but like he had like the dumbest key bindings, like in his hotkey daemon and stuff, and
yeah,
it was like, wait a minute
yeah,
here, like why don't you
yeah,
just have like a simple setup and just have people
yeah.
be able to, use it.
Customize the ISO
Yeah,
the way they
every
want.
single key was accounted for, and it was like,
Yeah.
man, that is such a complicated setup.
Right, I
You
know.
know,
I'm like,
yeah,
even me, who's even somebody like me, or even I could do, who hasn't used a window manager very much, I could make better default key stacks than that.
yeah. So anyway,
Yeah.
I was looking at a bunch of
Yes.
Arch Linux derivatives this weekend. Yeah, I needed the B roll for a
Yeah.
video I'm making, and StormOS is definitely going to be in the mix. So,
Oh,
um,
sure. Yeah.
yeah, it's
Because,
gonna be.
you
It'll.
know,
Yeah.
I am looking at, but yeah, I'm already thinking up ideas for the May release. And, you know, I'm planning to hopefully soon talk to Dark Zero about, a time that we can set up the script and all that kind of thing. And, you know, maybe talk to you about, when we can, uh, make some changes to the desktop and that kind of thing. So,
Yeah. No, for sure. So anyway, as I was saying about this project for
yeah.
lost my train of thought here.
We were talking about how Arco is going away.
Oh, right, right, and So, yeah, I checked out some other derivatives like Endeavor, Garuda, and all of that.
Cashy, things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I wasn't looking at um,
Hmm.
any of the immutable distros, though. But I was
No.
looking, yeah. Although actually, I think that's the future, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, there are going to be immutable distros where you have to do a.
No, no, I think that's the only thing you're going to have
Yeah,
in
there are going to
days.
be, the traditional writable distros are going to go away,
Yep.
and the kernel will be immutable to where it won't have read write access persist. Yeah.
It will, but you'll have to ask very nicely. But
Yeah, which will be kind of a pain in the butt, but you know,
I actually don't mind it. I've been using this
yeah,
on Aurora. I don't mind it.
yeah,
Believe it or
yeah,
not, I thought I would hate it. There's been a couple of
yeah,
hiccups, but for the most part, everything
yeah,
works the same. So anyway, I looked at a couple of derivatives. I looked at Garuda Mocha, which looks like I don't know. It looks like
it
some yo.
looks,
It looks
yeah.
like a yoga instructor made the distro.
Oh, damn. That's a little bit of a blunt way of putting it there, buddy.
So anyway, I love it though. It his
Yeah.
that KDE version though, I'm like, how did he do that with the panel? I'm still trying to figure it out because that's pretty freaking cool. But hey, I mean, if you can do things like that, man, I'm telling you, like people will gravitate towards it. But the thing that here's the thing that kind of gets me. Like I think that you should have it at least to make this like Arch, right? Arch is for those who want to make their own thing, right? So it should be like as close to vanilla as possible, except for like have
Yeah.
Nvidia support, have
Yeah.
gaming support, have all of those things out of the gate
Yeah.
that hey, you know what, just come on,
Yeah.
oh, you need to develop, okay, hey man, we got this
Yeah.
and this out of the gate.
Yeah.
There's one other thing, for the love of God, at least put Vi in your distro, please, God, would you just put Vi in your distro?
Oh,
You
I
don't have to
understand
put
that. I mean,
you
I
don't have
mean,
to
I'll
put
be honest.
NeoVim. You don't have to put NeoVim. I promise. I'm not saying
No,
that.
no,
Just
no. I
put
get it.
V.
Well,
Yeah. Yeah,
I
just
get
put
it.
Vi.
Well, just because of your angst there, um, Shaston, I will commit to the May release just for you having Vim as a
Yeah.
package.
Okay. Yeah. You don't have to have NeoVim. I can install
No, 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 no,
NeoVim
no, no, no.
easily enough.
I'm not going that far for you, but I will
Yeah, yeah,
include
no, I got
basic
you.
Vim for just for you, my friend.
Thank
And
you.
also, um, as I told you earlier, just to sort of, you know, put in some extra fuel to the fire. Um, like I said, I'm working on a Gen 2 install script with a
Mm,
stage 4 tarball added. And um, also, in that pre built environment, I am going to ask ChatGPT, like we were talking about beforehand, to put Vim in there for you as well.
thank you, my friend. I
And
appreciate
I was hoping that you could maybe do a video on that because I got to
it.
tell you, you know, in my mind, and I'm not going to make that into an ISO for the love of God, no. But, because I mean, I don't want to put myself in a bad position with Gen 2. But, this is going to be about the closest thing that we're going to have to that. And
Mm,
I do want to stress that I do recommend downloading the pre-built KDE Gen 2 environment to test that with because it does require a ISO that has gparted preloaded. Well, it doesn't, but just within, to make things simpler, I do recommend it that way.
So I have to install Gen 2 and then run your
No, 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 no,
script.
no, 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 no. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay,
I'm saying
I'm clarifying. I'm sorry.
yeah, what I'm saying is you download the Gen 2 live GUI ISO is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Flash it to a VM or a drive or whatever you want to call it, and then boot up and then download my Gen 2 Stage 4 installer script is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, all right, makes
Yes,
sense.
yes, and it builds Gen 2 for you, and it allows you to pick, your desired desktop window manager, whatever you want it to be, or you can pick my customized XFCE grub theme, whatever else, if you want to.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like a. It sounds.
Interesting.
Yeah, I need to think of like an angle because like if I go,
Yeah,
hey, I'm
and
gonna try
what
this.
I'll do is after the show, I'll DM you on Discord the
Okay,
link to the ChatGPT article about it, where I asked it to build it and all that, and you can take a look at it and see if you can get an angle from it.
okay,
And I also have the stage 4 tarball that I'm going to put on either my GitHub or my one of or my MediaFire, one of those things, to store it. I'm not sure how big it is, but if it's less than 100 megs, I'll chuck it up on GitHub or something, and I'll also put the script on there too. So yeah,
all right, yeah. Oh,
yeah. So
and
that way,
yeah.
nobody has to download it from a weird source. And that kind
Okay,
of
I
stuff.
gotcha. Yeah, I need to find like a. I'll check it out on camera.
Yeah,
I want to like find like kind of a weird like a weird angle so that I can get eyeballs on it. That's
yeah,
what I'm
because
doing on
yeah,
this video coming up, where I'm living in your distro for a week and.
yeah, because when it, yeah, because I mean, I want to get more Gen 2 exposure on YouTube because, there's not many Gen 2 videos towards just, geared towards this, the person coming over from another platform, you know.
Yeah. I
And I
I
want to get
I
Gen
have
2
mixed.
more
I have
exposure.
yeah. I have mixed views on Gen 2 just because it takes so
No, I
damn
know.
long
And
to set up. It's like, come
yeah, and
on,
that's
man.
why,
Like,
I
that's the
want to
only
make
reason why.
something,
Yeah,
similar to what Dark Zero did, but in a Gen 2 form, you
yeah.
know.
But yeah, I like all things Gen 2 for the most part, but it just takes so
Yeah,
long.
and also this script has post-install package selection and
Oh, okay.
hardware drivers and all that kind of thing, and also hybrid graphics optimizations
Oh,
and stuff
wow.
like that
Oh,
too.
okay.
So it's a very involved script, and it also has a package or a script that you know, with a desktop shortcut that DeepSeek wrote for me, incorporated into it as well. You
All
know,
right. So I got another question. How long does it take to install?
what the script?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't personally ran through it yet, but I do plan to do that after this, actually, on this very hardware, and check it out. And
Is it good?
you're probably And one other thing I want to mention about this, it does have binary package support as an
Oh,
option,
oh,
and I did throw that in. And you're probably gonna be a shrill is probably gonna run up your spine when you hear this, but I did throw in the KDE4 Sunset overlay in there, but you know I had to do that for DOS Gregor, because and for myself, but that's a personal thing. I do not recommend people use that. So if you're not someone who wants to relive the old days of KDE, don't download that overlay. Just saying that right now.
yeah. Yeah, I'll take a look at
Yeah.
it. I think that's a good,
A good
the
thing to
only,
have.
yeah, it's just, it's got to be under like 2 hours or 3 hours.
No, no, I get that. Well, I can't promise, an exact ETA on that because again, it's hardware
Yeah,
dependent and all that kind of stuff. So
And also, like, I'm going to be in a virtual machine on this one because I'm not. Well, I could, I guess I could install it on my laptop, but
yeah,
and kind of like have like some B-roll where I like because I got this. Where's my other camera?
yeah,
I have like this little action camera that I
yeah,
used this weekend for some of my B-roll for
yeah, exactly. Well, you
and it
know,
actually records my screen rather well. I was
yeah,
shocked.
yeah. What I would do is, yeah, that would actually be a better way to test it, at least in my eye, because so many Gen 2 reviewers do it on a VM, and not many people do it on a real machine, especially a laptop. So if you did it that way, I think it would give it some good precision, and
Yeah, I have
presentation.
it. Yeah, I have this old laptop. It's like a
Yeah,
14-year
and
old laptop. I think that'll be a good. It's
yeah,
a little
and
faster than my
they
VM.
actually, yeah, and they actually have a Gen 2 kernel bin now because they're moving away from Gen kernel.
Oh,
So,
really?
and that actually provides a pretty decent kernel config for it. And later today, hopefully after this, I'm planning to, add that as a package in the script. And it does set up, and it was, it has it uses OpenRC. It does not use systemd, so be mindful of that
Yeah, I know.
and that sort of thing.
Yeah, Sysvin and OpenRC they kind of run almost
They kind
identical.
of run the same, yeah. And it auto starts Network Manager, dbus, elogin D, and Network Manager and Bluetooth
Okay.
all for you. And another thing I added was, yes, I added Hyperland into that. I added DT's configs, jcoolits, and my work, my Linux for work uh, configs in there too. So,
Oh
and yes,
wow.
they're optimized for Gen 2, all of them. So, yeah, you've got not just my XFCE personal settings for this, but and it even went as far as making those hyperlink configs available. And it also gives the option of having a custom Storm G wallpaper, purple and black color scheme, rub theme, and Plymouth all in it too.
Yeah.
So it's
Well,
a very, very, very involved script, and you know, so you're getting a very tricked out, badass Gen 2 setup from this thing. So
all right. Well, anyway,
now, hold on. It also installs Grub for you with the option for legacy hardware or EFI if you so choose.
oh wow. Okay, that's
Yeah,
pretty
it's
freaking
a pretty
cool.
nice script, and yeah, so it's going to be very interesting when you look at
I
it.
will
So.
definitely check that out. Yes, absolutely. Again, I want to get like some sort of angle, like
No worries. Well,
like
we'll talk more
I'll,
about it.
yeah, like I'll probably do something like
Sure.
um,
Yeah.
I wanted to install Gentoo, but it was too hard. Blah blah
No,
blah.
I understand that. I totally respect
Like I
that.
find like some
Well,
way
this
to tell a
this script
story.
aims to make that a lot less prevalent. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And let me see. Yeah, I'm just checking over the script right now with ChatGPT to see what the heck it has in it. Yeah, because it's got everything that I've been talking about. But let me see. Let's see. Add Gentoo kernel bin for the kernel and previous functions. I'm just making sure that it has everything that I've claimed it has. So um, other scripts also. All right, I just had it adapt the kernel bin in there and whatever else I was talking about. So yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, like I said, after the show or here shortly, I plan to upload this as well as the stage four stuff
Mm.
to my GitHub and in the Storm G repo, and that should be good to go. So
Cool deal. I do look forward to looking at it within the next week or two. I just
you got it, and
I am super busy. Like you have
no, I
no
get it.
idea.
Well, once it's done, or once I've tested it, and hell, I might even do a demo stream of it. You know, running people through it and all that
Yeah,
sometime this evening. We'll see. Just depends on my availability and that kind of thing. So
yeah. I've been crazy busy this last
no, I
few
understand
days.
that.
Yeah.
You know,
I barely had the time to like sit down with you today, like because I have a bunch of stuff going on later this afternoon. But
no, I get it. Well, you know, uh, it's you know, because even I have crap going on today. I've got you know, a swoop tour raid coming up very soon, but you know, that doesn't require video or voice or anything. But yeah, I'm very excited to see where you go with the Arch versions and the
mm,
the script, and
yeah,
you know, I have to say this was a lot less. But was there anything about me personally you wanted to talk about or anything like that?
no, no, no. I think that is I got pretty
That's a lot.
much.
You got a lot of stuff out of this. Yeah,
Yeah, I think I did. The one thing though, I would, I
like
just
to
like
touch
I
on.
like talking shop. I like also kind of getting like I kind of like just wanted
Yeah.
to kind of clear the air after the whole
No, no, you're
expression
fine.
interview.
Yeah, because
Like,
you
cause they're
know,
like, "Hey, we're no longer here. We're no longer a team," and it was because of the interview. And I'm like,
no,
I
no. I mean,
purposefully let it
it's
go on to
well,
make it more
it wasn't
interesting.
all about that. There was just a lot of extra turmoil that was going on at the time, and
Yeah,
we as a team had to talk, and there was just a lot of excess turmoil going on, and you know that was just sort of like the nail in the coffin, so to speak, was how things went during the interview.
yeah,
So we just had to, we all had to go off and, we're still buddies, all of us, and things like that.
yeah.
But we had to go off and do our own individual
No,
way
no,
of doing.
we got it, and it actually makes more sense for you to stay with
Yeah,
me
yeah, because
than
Darren's still helping me out, and
yeah,
I him, and Jonathan's off again doing his own version, and we
yeah.
all just sort of left it like that.
Yeah, no, good deal. Yeah. And it's funny the other day, like I don't know if like
Yeah,
Darren likes to poke a bear or whatever. Like I
yeah.
guess he didn't realize like I guess he's a big Trump supporter or something and I'm a never Trumper, so
No, I get it. Well,
I
he is entirely on. I don't even know, but
yeah.
it's what it is, man. So,
No, I mean he's a nice guy, so don't please Darren if
no,
you're watching,
I'm not
not
looking to, you
yeah.
know.
There's no
And
flame wars
actually, I have
here.
a local friend whom I go to sing songs with, sometimes in the month, and he sort of shares a similar mindset, and it's one of those things, where we're all on different opinions and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So,
no, I mean, like, and this is the cool thing about tech is, it's like it doesn't matter about your opinions, you know. It only
no,
matters is if your tech that whatever you're working on is cool,
right,
and that's
right.
like the bottom line. Like, if you have a cool
Oh,
project,
yeah.
cool. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, and so that was the other thing. Actually, I want to thank you. Okay.
Yes.
You have the sense not to put the chaotic AUR into your distro. Thank
I'm not gonna
you.
do
Thank you. Somebody actually
that.
has some comments. I cringed when I saw DTOS do that. Or DT do
Yeah,
that in
yeah.
DTOS. I cringed. I'm sorry, DT. Love you, bro. You know it. chaotic AUR is not a good AUR for other, arch derivatives. It just, and I don't
No,
even think it
no,
works that well in Garuda, to be honest.
no. I was I was deathly afraid when I saw the oh someone's oh goodness. Yeah. But yeah, oh someone finally said something in the chat that
Oh yes, actually, it's not just tech. When it comes to nation states like Russia, they blackmail and threaten to send devs to Ukraine so that they can be allowed to contribute because of security implications for the parties. Like,
yeah.
oh wow, okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. I am pro Ukraine, so
Yeah.
I have Ukrainian family that is in Ukraine fighting right now. So uh, yeah, um, I know a lot of people like I I I get like these pro Putin people on my channel, and I'm like, dude, you're talking to the wrong person. But SS, I appreciate the the comment. Um, yeah, to send devs to Ukraine so they can't be allowed to contribute. Yeah. Anyway, it is what it is. Yeah,
Yes. And well
yeah. I was going to say I wanted to just mention thank you for not
no,
including
no worries. And I
that
have zero
family.
plans to add that repo into my
Yeah,
distro. Don't worry.
yeah. Don't like the AUR is fine the way it is. It doesn't,
Yeah, it
when
doesn't need to be pre-loaded into an operating system.
yeah, and I tried it when it first came out, and I kind of I
Yeah,
their download speeds are a little faster, I will say.
yeah, yeah. And I personally,
Oh,
I have no qualms with it. It's just, they don't. Um, how can I say this without making myself look bad? They don't, you know. I can understand why some might gripe about, that, but and SS is asking what's StormOS about. Oh, that's opening a damn can of worms. Oh God.
I'll answer it. Look,
Yeah, you
like,
answer.
um, so StormOS is a Linux derivative, Arch derivative. But the
Hmm.
one thing that it does is,
Yeah,
oh, it's much
yeah,
better than
yeah.
Manjaro. I
Yeah.
promise you, it's way
It,
better.
it
Why?
is
Yeah,
better than Manjaro. Like I said in the beginning of the stream. When we got to this segment, uh, it's not designed to be Manjaro, not at all.
no,
It's designed to be yeah. It's designed to be a minimal, uh, easy for people, noob friendly Linux system for people coming over from uh, you know coming from Windows or Mac OS, and they're seeking a better life on their computer, and they're looking for stability but with the bleeding edge of Arch that they know and love. You know.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, some shade there. That he says, I
Yeah.
love
No, no, no,
Manjaro.
no, 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 no. It's not based on Debian
God
SS.
no,
Not
God
by a
no.
long shot. No. It's
Oh,
based on, like
he
we
wants
said,
to send you back. He wants to send you back to the Stone Age. I think
okay. Here's the thing, dude. It's not. It's
he wants
not.
to send you back to Stone Age, man. You're gonna
It's
let
not based.
you're gonna
Okay. Let me,
you're gonna let him insult you like that? Oh come
dude,
on,
dude.
man.
Okay. I'm gonna make this crystal ass clear right now.
Oh, okay, all right. He found Storm Linux. That was the thing.
No, no, that's not
No,
what
it's
it.
not based
No,
on
oh my
Manjaro at all.
god,
No,
no.
it's based on Arch Linux.
Yeah, you're looking at the way wrong operating system, my
Yeah,
friend.
I saw Star.
No, it's
I
not
think
based
that
on Manjaro. It's based on stock Arch.
on
It-
Garuda.
oh, good. Oh my God, Garuda. Oh no. Oh my God, no. Okay, that is
No,
oh Jesus. Okay, it's based on stock Arch. I'm making that clear right now. It's not based on another Arch derivative. It's not
no.
based on Manjaro. No, it's based on Arch itself. And all we're trying to do is make Arch itself easy for people who want to come over from something like Windows, something like Mac, whatever, and they want to have a better experience than they would on most other Linux systems out of the box. You
In the description section, I
yeah, it'll
left
be
it.
in the description after the podcast for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. There's
And
yeah. I
and like we said earlier, SS next month there will be a update with a better terminal font and a lot of bug fixes, stuff like that, as well as an indicator for the comp so you can change to XFWM4, comp itself, or KWin if desired. So yeah,
yeah. There'll be a lot of
there will
there's
be a
still
lot of improvements and
yeah,
quality of life changes and things like that coming in the May release.
yeah.
So
Yeah, and I'll get you a pithy make of
yeah.
that LXQT, and then I'll give you the
Oh, for
packages.
sure, yeah.
I'll give you
And
the
we'll
packages in the repo and
we'll
stuff
look.
like
Yeah,
that.
just make a repo for me, and I'll look at it.
Yes, it is based on the Arch repos. Yes.
Yes, but we're using our own repos as well, just with
Yeah.
Arch packages put in there.
I think every yeah, it's pretty close to vanilla Arch, but with like
Just with like a
support
bunch
for
of
Nvidia or like
all
gaming
these
and
other
all the
things. Yeah.
yeah yeah. But it pretty
Yeah.
much gets out of your
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And
my
how do
impression.
our repos work? They are basically Arch packages, just um, hosted on a server that my buddy Darren hosts, and they update every Monday uh, at midnight his time, 3 a.m. my time. I'm 3 hours ahead of him because he's in Pacific time. I'm in Eastern, and we we don't build any we don't build any ISOs or anything like that at that time to give the server time to refresh, and they're usually pretty in sync with how Arch does things. So,
Yeah.
and they usually work pretty darn well, and you know that's a little bit behind it. So yeah. Oh shit. But yeah, I am working on, and I do plan to. Yeah, that's it's a little bit about the distro itself. So
Yeah, no, for sure. I think it is like kind of like one of those bare bones. It
it
allows you
just works,
and it allows you to install Arch Linux no matter what
very
your
very easily.
very
Yeah.
easily without any complications. Like if you have
Yes,
NVIDIA,
and also we have
using
NVIDIA. We have
AMD. Yeah, I don't know what EOS is, but
yeah. I'm not sure what that is either.
yeah. But yeah, it's a great little project, and we've um, I've known about StormOS for a while, and it's kind of funny because I always like confused you with the guy who uh does Stump WM, because he also runs his own uh he's
Hmm.
what is it, Big Pod or whatever his name is, with he's also a contributor to Endeavor OS. Yeah, it is like Endeavor OS. Actually, if you just wait for a video coming probably on Monday, I'll do a really good job explaining to you what StormOS is and why you should use it. And yeah, so like I don't remember who it was, but I remember he was also a contributor to DT. Um, and yeah, he was a contributed. Uh, um, I don't know if Endeavor's the greatest. I don't have anything against it. It's better than Manjaro. I will give it that much credit, but I don't know if it's the best derivative
Oh,
ever. Um,
no.
I actually, I want something. The whole point of Arch Linux is to be able to build your own stuff. And it's kind of funny because we've kind of gotten away from that, where we're looking at all of these derivatives.
Yeah.
Oh, it turned it's better than Manjaro, not
Yeah.
Segalot. Oh, you have a lot of love for Endeavor, even though you don't use it. Okay, that's
Hmm.
fair. I don't have anything against Endeavor. I think it's a solid derivative, and yeah, yes, exactly. And that is the reason why, like, I would rather do like a minimalist type install, and then like, okay, yeah, you can
Hmm.
download my configurations, or maybe you could just
Ow.
install a vanilla version, and then just have everything work out of the box. You got Nvidia, okay, we got support. You got AMD, we got the support you need, and then
Yeah, yeah.
just kind of go from there. I think that would be the best arch derivative. Hey, we got a few desktops you might like, but you know what? If you want to fuss around with it, hey, be my guest. We got the support, all the support you need to do it. You just fire that. Yeah, probably. Yeah, that would be fair, I guess. Um, yeah. So anyway, I left a couple of links in the section below where they can to your website, to your um, yeah, to your website and to your we
Yeah.
could, we gotta work on the SEO, because whenever I type StormOS, I have to actually visit your
Yeah.
I have to visit the
Whatchamacallit?
SourceForge page to find your website
Well, I don't know
instead
why
of
that is.
because
We're using, well, Matt
StormOS.
is using, here's the thing. Like we talked about in the beginning, Matt doesn't have a whole lot of money, if any. So
No,
that's
no, I
why
got you.
that's why we don't have Google results and all that sort of stuff. So
Yeah, I mean, zero. See you guys later. I'll leave the stream running. Look forward to hearing more about the project. Yes, absolutely. Hey, thanks for stopping by, SS. We really appreciate it.
thank you much. Yeah.
Yes.
But
So yeah. So like there. No, and it has nothing to do with money. It has to do with there's another
what?
Storm OS.
Okay.
Just manual work. Yes, exactly. So there's another Storm OS, but it isn't an operating system.
Yeah.
But that's why there's a conflict, and so your page never shows up. Um,
Exactly.
Darren, what's up,
Holy
Darren?
smokes. You missed over half the show, Darren.
You missed all of it, I think.
You missed a lot of it. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Oh, God.
anyway,
Well, he
Um,
can watch the playback later.
yeah, it'll be up in about 5 minutes or so. But anyway, so I left a link to your website
Yeah,
and your YouTube channel,
of
and
course.
so oh, you fell asleep. I'm a Gen X and need a nap. Well, yeah, I just woke.
Yeah,
I
sometimes I
woke
need
up
a
at
nap
noon,
too,
so
and I can totally relate to that.
yeah. No, for sure. But I actually I wake up around noon or one, so because I work until 5 a.m., 5 6 a.m. every
Oh
night.
my word, you're a night boy.
Well, for right now, I'm working nights until I start getting some money from YouTube.
Well, that's always a task.
Yeah, but I monetized now. This is good. So let's see what I can.
Yeah, sadly, I had 1,000 something subscribers at one point, but then it fell off the grid, and I have to get back to that point to start making money
Yeah,
from YouTube again.
yeah,
So,
they don't pay good, but I do have other ways to monetize that
mm.
I'm working on. So
Yeah, and
hopefully,
I broadcast sometimes on Twitch too, so
yeah,
that could easily make up for that if I ever get monetized. So
yeah, I need to like start doing stuff on Twitch too again,
I
because
would recommend it because I've got
it's
like 192 so followers over there and one subscriber thus far. So I'm doing okay, but not 100% yet. So,
I have more people like go on my live streams from YouTube than I do
yeah.
Twitch.
Yeah,
That's been my problem. I just can't.
right.
Yeah, and I'm trying to like change that, but
Yeah, yeah,
there's it's just
yeah,
I have to be on there every day, 12 hours a
yeah.
day, and kind of thing, and then
Right. I
I'll
totally understand
eventually.
that, and I will, but yeah. Oh, geez, it's almost 6 o'clock and it's dinner time near for me. Shit.
Yeah, I got a couple more hours, and I'm gonna be eating pozole. So yeah,
Nice, dude. Well, either way, yeah,
yeah. I
and I
think
have to get on to upgrading this machine too. So,
yeah.
yeah, and I want to do that before it starts to get dark and all that stuff. Because you know as well as I do that working on a computer in the dark ain't
Do
gonna
it
happen.
every day.
Yeah, yeah. Because working on, especially on a laptop, working on it in the dark, hell no.
That's why you need one of these. You can take it anywhere.
What is it? Uh, oh yeah, a flashlight. Well, either way,
Not a flashlight. it's just a
all
keyboard, but I can move it anywhere. So
right, there
like
you go.
yeah. So
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I actually have I have a colored keyboard here too. So
yeah, yeah,
the I need
yeah.
another like 40 or 60% keyboard with color
Oh yeah. Well,
the
you
lights.
see what my dad are planning to do is, again, take apart the Asus one final time and put its NVMe drive into this, and then put the other one in my tower, and then put its the Broadcom Wi-Fi card I was going to put in there into here, and then call it good enough.
Yeah,
And that's where we're going to leave it. So,
yeah. Anyway, I will probably work on that in the next day or two. Next few days, I'll work on that LXQT thing because that actually
alrighty,
got me thinking about something. It's
yeah,
actually for someone else because
yeah,
they're running
yeah.
BSPWM inside of KDE, but it's not working out so good because of the whole push to Wayland. So we need to find like a nice little workaround for them.
Yeah.
And there's some cool like tiling that I can accomplish with what is that called? The tiling is accomplished with WM control, and so Yeah,
Yeah.
I have some scripts for that, so I could throw that together really quick, and you would have actually quite the project. I honestly, I wish I could get some traction with my PEC WM config, but it's like really nice. It's like, yeah. And Donald, I need a nap after eating. I do too. And
Who doesn't? Yeah.
yeah, I'm about ready to go eat some pozole, and I'm gonna need a nap
Well,
after that. If you've ever had pozole, it's like it's really heavy, but it's good.
yeah.
And
That's like a huge pasta dish with bread over here. I gotta tell you, it's like, oh my god.
yeah,
But it knocks you out really damn easily, that's for
yeah.
sure.
Well, yeah, and probably all the food that you buy in America right now probably
Yeah,
knocks
yeah.
you out. Like, yeah. But here in Mexico, food is good. Like this morning, I had chilaquiles and eggs. Oh my God! And this afternoon, I'm gonna be eating pozole.
Yeah,
Big,
there you go.
huge, with a huge bone. Like they serve it with the bone, and you eat the meat off the bone. Some
Yeah,
cow, and you eat like the bone marrow and everything. It's great.
yeah, exactly. Damn. But either way, Shaston, you know, I haven't had much to eat today, so I gotta get my dinner in my stomach. This is going crazy.
You're diabetic in your old age. Have you thought about, Darren, have you thought about
Hmm.
a not to get off topic here, but
It's fine. I could
like we
talk
have,
about food all fucking day if I wanted
have you
to.
thought about like the whole what is it?
Yeah,
The carnivore diet? Like I think that
yeah,
my dad does really well for
yeah,
it.
yeah,
But anyway,
yeah, yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
I have zero risk for that, but I have other challenges like renal
Yeah.
challenges and stuff. And I had open heart surgery where they took my artery out of my arm and the vein out of my leg. They split my chest open and they did a bypass. like they
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. Oh my
That's pretty
God.
much what I'm on as a vegan. I'm doing my part to eat vegan animals.
Yeah. Yeah. But
That was actually kind of funny.
oh yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, so very good. I think we've been streaming for about um,
Almost 2 hours at
an
this point.
hour and a half. Yeah, exactly.
Roughly.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. Anything else you want to know about your project?
I think we're good here.
All right. So anyway, guys, check out StormOS. It is one hell of a
Yeah.
distro. I'm going to be releasing a video about it, just kind of showcasing just some of my thoughts. But also, I
Yeah.
think it's actually the perfect distro for a lot of reasons, and I'm going to show you in the video coming up here very shortly, probably in the next 2 or 3 days. So
All
anyway,
right.
thank
Cool. Well,
thank
I will let you know when the Gen 2 script is done in that, and we'll see each other on Discord, I guess.
yeah. All right. Well, anyway, thanks for stopping by. We'll do this again, maybe I don't know, next month or a couple
Next month,
weeks.
whenever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got loads of time, just hit
Yeah.
me up.
Yeah, just yeah, I'll definitely hook you up, and I'll hit you up when we'll take a look at some of those other projects as well, and I think that would be pretty cool. Um, a couple of different avenues to get few more eyeballs on the project, that sort of thing. Darren,
Yeah.
it's always good to see you. Donald, good to see you. SS, it's always good to see you. And anyway, I'm pretty much out of here. Guys, just go ahead and have a great day. And yeah, don't do anything I wouldn't do
Exactly.
or anything I would.
Same for me. Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, yeah, I guess we'll be out of here. Peace.
All right. Peace, guys.
There we are. Ah.